Hey everybody, welcome to another World of Tanks video. This time we got an armadillo match. I'm going to try to advance towards the enemy, allowing some scouting assistance for my front lines or what there may be of.
Focus on this area.
And first off, we can notice how our team doesn't really want to help the rest of the team advance. Because if they did, they wouldn't be huddled up in C1, letting the entire island be dominated, leaving no actual pressure from their own team, because now their teammates are just going to be annihilated. And because they're not actually going to put pressure on the enemies, but allow the enemies to put the pressure to keep their pressure on us, guess what happens? We get annihilated, just like every other time. And just like that, yet again, even though I'm driving around, still alive, you know, my chance is slim to none, but, you know, I'm still driving around doing my job for you guys. And guess what? We're losing our base. I'm losing more teammates than I already was. It's just not a fun game to be playing. And the fact that if you think you're the one not playing, but I'm not playing, or you are playing and I'm not playing, it's ridiculous. And right there's another example of what you'll see in the next match of how I die. Me just happening to make a wrong choice and not turning in the proper way that it would extend the life, as I was clearly just not going in there to die that time. And I say that time because I play so risky and yes, sometimes careless as well. A lot of people are saying that I just go out there to die. I'm not really, you know, not even trying. You know, I'm not the one throwing the match, guys. Like, you can watch these matches for yourselves. This is just my POV. I'm sure if we saw from your guys' angle, as I watch when I spectate sometimes, we see you guys actively just sitting back there, and then I'll go look up your reload time if I don't already know it. I'll see what your standard reload time is before you even put on all your little doodads and gadgets, and see you're still not even using your barrel as much as you could be. And the purest example you could ever have to explain that is how, if they were Overwatch, I would not be getting fired upon so willingly and often as I would be like I am. Now here you can see me backing off from the actual battlegrounds because I'm pretty low health. So I kind of sit in the retreat position, which is, you know, back here, not actually in the battle, and I sit around and see what my team's doing. And obviously, because I'm not a sit around and do nothing kind of guy, it drives me crazy. I pretty much go back out there to make my attempt because I can already be aware that the match is over. The enemy teams are going to pick ours off one at a time. I knew this before I rewatched this match. But here's the thing, this was also not a matter of me just killing myself. This was a matter of them capitalizing on the opportunity that they had, because I didn't leave myself in a way to escape, you know. But even if I didn't sit around right there, you know, I could have made a big difference in the match as far as the overall outcome goes, as any player could do, no matter the amount of skill they have or not. They are still very impactful to the game as long as they're alive. And that's why they'll sit back and not really take that risk, because they think they're going to help their teammates way down the road. You know, when the match is over. They're not, though. The game's over at that point. That's why, you know, so many matches are over before they even start. It's crazy because you guys aren't playing the game. You're just a bunch of zombies doing whatever the frick you already did 1,000 times over and over. You're not trying. That's what, or a lot. I'd have to say it's more entertaining to watch people that don't know how to play, but still be playing. You know, enough to watch them play, and rather than watching actual pros play, because pros, you know what they're supposed to do. If you know what you're gonna watch, right? A bunch of people that don't know how to play, you know what we get here, because a lot of yous don't. Even the ones that do good, you guys play certain ways so that you do good. That's why you play that way. And that's like the thousands of times repetitiveness. You know, you think you're practicing, but you're not getting any better. You know why? It's because you're not actually playing the game. You're not going out there learning how to deflect damage with your tank so that you don't have to hide from damage. You're not learning how to advance towards the enemies so that those people behind you that are too afraid to, they can even advance a little bit more than they would have. You're not learning those things by playing the way that a lot of you are choosing to play, just to, you know, basically settle and, you know, end up being mediocre. Alright, and then here we got our last example for this video. I'm gonna admit, okay, alright, besides the people trying to be political about it and you know, get you guys on the bandwagon that I'm a terrible teammate and I don't try and I do bad even when I'm trying. Here's the reality of it. A lot of games I don't try. A lot of times I do try and I'm not good enough. But here's a perfect example of me not trying but still kind of doing better than all of you who I'd have to say are probably trying with the way you're playing. Now, as you can see, we finally found an enemy in a position that we can capitalize on. We got a couple units on the northeast corner of the enemies, and then a nice group on the very southwest. You know, as they pretty much commonly do to themselves and for each other, if you want to consider it that. But here's my positioning. I pretty much knew where the big group up, the players that'll group up are gonna go, and so I made my way to approach their base and then maybe cause some disruption later on, or maybe even cause some disruption to their snipers that maybe never even left that corner of the map. And then at that point, after I pretty much hurt myself more than the enemies could, we realized the match is over. There's a group of enemies, you know, devouring or what's left of our team points on team health points on the northeast hillside, and then the south. So we're kind of just enjoying the ride now, and pretty much we're just sitting here practicing our little peekaboo playstyle, and you know, trying to learn how to rotate the environment and points of positions of cover and all that. You know, it's a lot. It's an art, you know. Having the knowledge that tells you how often they're going to shoot, having the knowledge that tells you when the situation would be most likely for them to shoot, you know, and trying to bait their shots to where they have to reload, and then I maybe have a moment to take advantage of. And then here I notice my teammates showing up, and I make the petty decision to say, you're better off without me. And I play like these enemies of the team players do. And because I wasn't gonna sit there and play fish in a barrel for 12 guys to shoot at our tanks because one guy can tell the entire enemy team what we're doing, I left. And as you can notice, I try to drive around and I buy myself the time because at this point, the only thing I'm gaining out of this game is wasting 10 enemies' time because, they weren't doing that already. Whether it be their own time, our team's time. I mean, I get it. To beat the enemy, you have to take their health points, and then, you know, makes them have to go spend time elsewhere or sit there and watch their team play the game that they can't play anymore. And that's the part that drives me crazy about this game and the fact that I have to play with teammates, is that I'm not wasting my time. Yeah, I may not achieve everything that I could achieve, but I'm not wasting my time or anybody else's most of the time. The fact that you guys think that you're helping preserve all of our times, but you're destroying my time, you're destroying your time, you're destroying our teammates' time. You're doing nothing but helping the enemies capitalize on the time that you're not capitalizing on. All for the sake of the opportunity you want to make or have later on. That's absurd to me. And certainly so when you guys are clearly only doing it for your own gain. And that's how you can tell who's and that's how you can tell who's actually a teammate or someone pretending to be a teammate. And my fault, that was my 11:01 Pandora alarm clock playing. You guys take it easy. I've had fun doing this. And bear with me, guys. I'm gonna try and keep these videos going, but currently with the way things are, man, I'm using 4 different microphones that I gotta switch around because they all act up. I got a computer that's hanging on its last limb. I only got 3 mics that I'm switching around, and I got a couple computers, but the one that I'm using it's pretty broken is my best grade one, so I'm just kind of, it's the only one I can still capture content with and do the editing stuff. But once I figure out my living situation and my office gaming setup and all that, I'll figure it out. My videos will be pretty good. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to work on my tools and my skills using those tools for the next one so that they can be better. I hope all of you enjoy yourselves, enjoy the video, enjoy each other properly. Stay blessed, man. I love you guys. But I'm going to get off of here because my neighbor's dog's barking. So it's not really fun editing right now, which I can't even really complain about, because you'd be listening to my dog bark if he was barking. So that's pretty much going to be it for the voiceovers for now. We're going to edit some more later, but for now I'm going to try to enjoy the things that I got to do that I don't enjoy doing. Like having to observe my environment more than be aware of myself. Even though I realize they'll just wait till I turn my back to get away with, because even the thing is, even if there's nothing to take, people like that, they'll try to get away with whatever they want to try to get away with. And that's most of the reason why I like to keep to myself. I don't want any accomplices. I don't want any company. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with being whatever I am, all by myself. I don't really care what you think, any of you think of me. It is what it is, man. That's your life. You go live it. I got my life to live, and I'm happy that I got to live it as much as I have. And when it comes time that I don't get to anymore, well, I know deep down I'm satisfied with who I am. I'm happy with how I've bettered myself throughout my life. The fact that I'll only help as much as I have is still more worthwhile to me than any help that I could have did anyways. And for everyone themselves that's hurting or not, I'm just glad you guys were able to help each other as much as you were, because let me tell you, man, I know how much you guys need help, even the ones that are helped. I'm just glad there's not that many people in the world that like to see other people crash and burn.